Okay, well, I'm going to talk about the irrigation controllers. We talked about the control valves that control the irrigation for a particular zone. Well, this is the irrigation controller, and this is the brains of the operation. What we want to talk about here is we're going to talk a little bit about the battery. A lot of these controllers need batteries in them to hold the program in case of a power outage. It'll hold all your information still inside. The battery itself is located in the back of the panel, and a lot of times batteries can be rechargeable or non-rechargeable. Make sure that you know exactly what type of battery you're using on certain types of controllers. This one in particular will take either one. It just depends on which clip you use. Now also you need to have the current date and time inside a controller. It's very important, and that's to make a program work. What is a program? Well, a program is designed for a specific zone or valve to turn on at a specific date or time for that particular valve to run. There's usually 3 programs on irrigation controllers. Some can have as many as 8 or 9. On this particular controller, there's 3 programs located right here on this switch. I can go from program A, B, and C. The reason why we have 3 programs is there's a difference between watering for turf and drip plants. But no matter what, when setting up a program, you have to answer 3 particular questions. The questions would be, how long do I want this particular zone to run? What day I want this particular zone to run? And how often I want this particular zone to run. It's important to keep a programming log inside the controller. This information provides what stations water, where they water, and also what the start times are for when they water, and possibly even the durations that they water for. Okay, once it's all programmed, you're going to need to make sure to review the program that you have just put inside your controller. You want to go through and double check everything to make sure it's when you want it to come on, what days you want it to come on, and for how long you want it to come on. So always double check. Now that we've reviewed the irrigation schedule that we put in, it's important to remember to do a reality check. Maybe to schedule it so that the irrigation comes on prior to going to work in the morning, so you can make sure that the irrigation system is functioning correctly, things are coming on, and also that you can keep like a screwdriver handy or something to check the soil depth of how much water you're applying. Remember, you only want to water to the root depth of what you're applying it to. All right, now that we've set up the program in the irrigation controller, it's actually time to do an irrigation reality check, as you would call it, out in the field. So this here is a professional probe that your landscaper probably would use, or hopefully are using. And what you do is you just insert it into the turf, give it a nice twist, pull out. It'll take a soil core, and what you're looking for is moisture in the soil, but not too much. Not too little, just enough for the root structure. Okay, after performing a reality check out in the field, it's good to run a manual check with your irrigation controller at least once a month. This is to prevent any type of broken sprinkler heads or heads that might be spraying on sidewalks or the side of the house. A good way of doing this is by coming over, turning your controller to the manual cycle. All controllers are different. You might want to check your manual for instructions on how to do it. But on this particular controller, you have a designated station, how much time you would like it to run, and then press the manual button. And then the best thing to do is go and inspect while it's running to make sure everything is efficient and the water is hitting the intended target. The best way to save water is actually after a rain event, turning a controller on and off. All controllers are different. Some have dials, some of them have buttons, some of them have switches on how they are turned off and on. Check your manual, make sure you know how to turn the controller off and on. On this particular one, all you have to do is move this switch to the left, the controller is off. If you follow these basic irrigation programming steps for the controller, you not only will have healthy plant and turf material, but you'll also water responsibly. The water will hit the intended target instead of being wasted.
Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our homeowner irrigation video series. In part 3, DLC's irrigation expert Brian Condrey will be back to talk about maintaining your irrigation system. To learn more about DLC resources, please visit us online at dlcresources.com. For additional landscaping tips and articles, please visit our Learning Center at dlclearningcenter.com. To find us on Facebook, please visit facebook.com/dlcresources.